Hey everyone. So today I'm going to talk to you about the comparison contrast assignment that we have coming up. This will be very similar to the structure of the illustration example essay assignment group. So essentially we'll still have our pre-write, we'll have um, our thesis statement, introductions, outline. The outline and the introductions are optional, of course. Draft, peer review, and final draft. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind when anything that I'm talking about, comparison contrast, it's going to be this overall assignment grouping. So let's take a look at the assignment requirements for comparison contrast. You can find these in either week 3 or week 4 module, and you can also find them in the intern materials as well. Um, so you have multiple places that you can see it. So basically, what's going to happen in this essay is you are going to compare and contrast two things that are pretty related. And the reason that I want you to choose things that are pretty related is because I want you to really focus on how to show the difference between these ideas. Okay, I don't want you to think of things superficially. I don't want you to talk about two things that are like kind of similar but also very different. I want this to be something that is close enough that you really have to think about it and you have to explain why these differences are happening. Okay, so the thing to keep in mind about comparison contrast is that it's meant to challenge your organizational skills. Okay, um, because we're comparing and contrasting two things, it means that you need to really be mindful of how you're organizing your ideas. Okay, again, you need to show, not tell, the differences between your two topics, but you'll need to organize your ideas in a way that groups like things together, which then in this essay is even more complicated than it was for the illustration example essay. You'll notice that in this little blurb here, um, there are two ways that you can organize your ideas. One is the point by point method, and the other is the block method. I'll talk about what those things are generally later on in this video, but then there'll be another organizational video that will be posted later on this week. Okay, um, so as far as topic choices go, we've got a couple of different options. Each of these have examples with them to kind of help you figure out exactly what they mean. So two versions of the same song. So essentially either two covers of the same song, an original and a cover. The example that I put here was Death Cab for Cuties, I Will Follow You Into the Dark, and Halsey and Youngblood's cover of the same song. You can find these on YouTube. Just search them on YouTube, and you'll be able to find what I'm talking about here. And we would be focusing on the differences in the way that that same song is being conveyed in Death Cab for Cuties version and then in Halsey and Youngblood's version. Right? What makes these two songs that are the same different? Okay. Also, a remake of the same movie. So, for example, Disney's cartoon Aladdin and the 2019 live action remake of Aladdin. Okay. What are the differences that are happening there? Also, two types of the same type of food from different cultures, right? For example, Tex-Mex tacos and authentic Mexican tacos, right? So they've got that overall similarity. They're very similar, but the differences are more subtle, right? And so we want you to develop those. A book and movie version of the same concept. So, for example, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and W.B.'s movie version of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Right? What are the differences here that you're focusing on? Two rival kinds of technology. This one has a couple of examples, just for the fact that I wanted to make clear that you want to choose things that are very similar. So, like the Apple iPad and Microsoft Surface. These two things were meant to be competition for one another, right? So, another example would be the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, right? These things are essentially doing the same thing, fulfilling the same function. One's a tablet, one's a video game console, right? But they're doing these things in different ways. So, talk about how those differences are shown. For another one, driving a vehicle with an automatic transmission and driving a vehicle with a manual transmission. If you've never driven a manual transmission vehicle before, I do not recommend choosing this particular topic because you need to have that sort of experience with it. But anyone out there who's interested in cars, someone who's interested in, how things work and that sort of thing, this could definitely be a good topic for you. Okay, and then also the other last choice, working at two places that have a similar customer base and purpose. So what I mean is something like racetrack and QT, right? Something that is a gas station and convenience store combined, or working at Publix and working at Kroger, right? Essentially grocery stores, right? So they have to be the same, and then we're focusing on those differences between how they do things. Okay, so hopefully you're kind of seeing what I'm trying to say here, in that what we're choosing to talk about and compare and contrast, these things have to be very similar so that you can really dig in and get into specifics about how they're different. All right, so as far as assignment criteria goes, I know this is really what you're looking for. So it needs to be 3 or more pages in length. Okay, this is 3 full pages or more. Now, keep in mind that the last essay was 2 pages. If you were struggling to hit that 2 page mark, make sure that you give yourself more time to develop your ideas. Okay, you'll need 2 outside sources to substantiate your ideas, one for each topic. Keep in mind that if your topic, if you choose, I'm going to scroll up, so if you get dizzy, I apologize. Close your eyes. If your topic is something like 2 versions of the same song, it would be the two songs, right? How your reader can find these 2 songs. Same thing for the movies, same thing for a book and movie version, right? You would cite these 2 things. As far as rival kinds of technology, could be a web page that talks about the capabilities of the particular technology, on both sides. If it's driving a vehicle with an automatic transmission and manual transmission, you may want to look into, how an automatic transmission works, how it shifts. If you're talking about driving a vehicle with a manual transmission, you talk about that kind of same idea, but in terms of manual transmission, and find a source about that. Okay. Same thing for working at 2 places with a similar customer base. Kind of see what their statement of purpose is, right? What are they? Not their statement of purpose. What their mission statement is, and you can use that as the outside source. You can also look at their website and find other information. So just know that your sources will be pertaining to the 2 topics that you choose. I'm going to scroll back down now. Okay. So you have to either follow the block method or the point by point method. This isn't something that you can pick one or the other or do something completely different. For this essay, you have to follow one of these 2. Okay, so make sure that you keep that in mind. And if you're unclear about what the block method or the point by point method is, after the video that I post that's specifically about organization and comparison contrast, then definitely let me know. Okay, that's really, really important, since organization is the main thing that we're focusing on for this essay. Your essay must have 2 supporting details per body paragraph, okay, developing what those differences are. Now, those 2 supporting details are also going to be related to one another. So you'll have, I'll discuss this a little bit later, but essentially, you're looking at these 2 topics in the same way and using those same ideas to show how they're different. Okay, that's essentially what we're doing. But like I said, we will talk about that later. Make sure that you use only third person in your essay. Again, no I, me, you, we, our, us, that sort of thing. Okay. Proper MLA formatting for in-text citations and works cited page. You will need a works cited page for this particular essay because we are using 2 outside sources, one for each topic. Right. So you'll need that, and you'll also need in-text citations to show where you found the information. So there will be another video about MLA formatting and how to cite things. That'll come up a little bit later, but you'll have that in time to be able to work through your ideas. And again, as same as last time, submit as a doc or docx file only. So some reminders. As you can see, choosing the block method or point by point method is right at the top of the list. So please remember, you have only 2 options, okay? One or the other. There is no third option. It's either the block method or the point by point method. You want to make sure that inside your essay, you only show similarities in the introduction and the conclusion, okay? very specifically, right? Differences are going to be happening in the body of the essay. Make sure that you use the same supporting detail for each point, okay? So for example, driving an automatic and manual transmission car. Point one could be speeding up. The supporting detail for speeding up could be shifting gears, and you want to talk about how the gears shift in an automatic transmission and how the gears shift in a manual transmission, right? You want these to be, kind of mirroring each other. And then you want to use detailed examples to show the difference between the two topics. Okay, those detailed examples, that same idea of showing, not telling from the illustration example essay, you'll want to use that again in your comparison contrast. Keep in mind that for these essays, the skills that we're developing are not solely limited to each essay, right? So we get this skill of showing, not telling from the illustration example essay. We bring that skill over to the comparison contrast essay, and then we add organization to it. Okay, so it's not like these things are isolated. These essays are all helping you build toward the argumentative essay, which happens at the end of term. Okay, so the general gist of the organizational plans, I'll start with the block method. Okay, the block method helps you organize your ideas by subject. Each paragraph, and this is the same for point by point, but each paragraph contains references to one topic and one point. Okay, that is the big thing to remember. You talk about one topic and one point. So in the block method, your essay will include 6 paragraphs in total. Okay, body paragraph 1, well, your introduction, obviously. Body paragraph 1 is going to be topic 1, point A. Body paragraph 2 is topic 1, point B. Note that both body paragraph 1 and 2 talk about topic 1. The difference is in the organization of the points, right? And then we move to body paragraph 3, topic 2, point A, topic 2, point B for body paragraph 4. Again, grouped by topic. Okay, and then you have your conclusion paragraph. So the point by point method is very similar, except instead of grouping by topic, you're grouping by point. So you've got your introduction still. Body paragraph 1 is topic 1, point A. Body paragraph 2 is topic 2, point A. Body paragraph 3, topic 1, point B. Body paragraph 4, topic 2, point B. Okay, and then your conclusion. Now note that this information about topics and points will make a lot more sense once you see how to construct the thesis statement for this assignment. And that video should be coming out either Sunday or Monday. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind, so that way you can refer back to it and you'll understand more about topics and points and what those refer to. Okay, the assignment breakdown is very, very similar. Actually, it's almost the same as the one for the illustration example essay. We have our pre-write. That's going to be due on March 31st. Our thesis statement due on the 2nd of April. The optional introduction, if you'd like comments. Remember, this is not for credit. The introduction is purely for comments to help make sure that you're developing your ideas in a way that's beneficial to your overall essay. That one's due on the 3rd. And then your outline and conclusion is optional again, but I highly recommend it for this essay. Okay, and I can't stress that enough. So make sure that you are, if you do not submit an outline and conclusion, that you're thinking through how you want to organize your ideas, right? Make sure that you understand the block method and point by point method by the 5th. Okay, and if there's still any confusion at all after you see the video that I post, after we, have the opportunity to kind of talk about it, then you need to tell me. Okay, that's very, very important since organization is the big thing that this essay focuses on. Okay, and then we have our draft due on the 7th, peer review due on the 9th, and then the final draft due on the 11th. As you can see, if you scroll down again, you'll see that the rubric for this particular essay is listed on the last page here. Now, this rubric is slightly different than the last one in the sense that it includes the other assignment requirements that we have for this particular essay. Things like that it includes 2 outside sources, that they're cited correctly, that sort of thing. And also that it indicates the particular elements that are necessary for this kind of thesis statement, that the topic sentences are indicating the topic and the point that the paragraph is going to be discussing, right? All of these things are specifically tailored in the rubric to the comparison contrast essay. Okay, so just sort of read through this, make sure that you understand, exactly what this is looking for. And then for MLA formatting, for the last essay, it was essentially, can you set up an essay following MLA formatting? If you didn't get points off for that, that's awesome. You completed step one without a hitch. That's fabulous. If you did get some points, make sure you points off. Make sure you understand where you went wrong, so that way you can correct it for this essay, and then know that whether you did well or you needed some work for MLA formatting, that you need to know how to cite things in text, and that you need to know how to include a works cited page. Okay, those are very, very important, because otherwise, then there could be issues with plagiarism and things like that, and we don't want to deal with that, right? We want to make sure that we're showing our readers where we're finding our information from and giving them the ability to go back and check and see what you were looking at as you were creating your essay. Okay, so that covers everything for the comparison contrast assignment requirements document. Um, Keep a lookout for these other videos in the next few days. Oh, I apologize. I'm scrolling back up. So if you need to look away, do that. I know that makes me dizzy. So, if you've got to, just do what you got to do. So keep an eye out from the next few days for other information regarding the specifics for comparison contrast, right? Things like how to write a thesis statement for comparison contrast because it's a little bit different, how to organize your ideas using either the block method or the point by point method, how to develop those ideas, right? All of these videos are forthcoming. Okay, so make sure you're keeping an eye out for those. All right, so I hope that you're all staying healthy, staying happy, do great things, and you will hear from me soon. Bye, guys.